So I beat Spiderman PS4 on Monday, and the ending was absolutely incredible. A lot of different twists happened, especially in the post-credit scenes, and it really was a doozy and one for the books, if I say so myself. And while the first credit scene was something that a lot of people were anticipating, a lot of people definitely could have connected the dots to, and it would have made a little bit of sense, the one in the second post-credit scene was a little bit more of a throw-off and a little bit more of a surprise for a lot of players, including myself as well. So I say, you know, obviously with the second post-credit scene being a little bit more of a shock value one, I say we go over and talk about it because I have some opinions, I have some thoughts about it that I would like to bring to you all today. So what's going on, guys? Is your boy TKD123 here, and today we're going to go over that second post-credit scene, and of course I will be showing said post-credit scene. So if you have not been in the game, you want to make sure you are saved and make sure you don't get spoiled, please turn away from this video. This is going to be a full spoilers video going on about the end of Spiderman PS4. So first off here, before we get into any of the post-grad scenes or like the main one that we have to talk about, we have to read an excerpt from the Hostile Takeover book from Spiderman PS4, the prequel to the game, as well as see a little cutscene and a little part in the actual game that really shows a different flip side to what we see in the book. So first off here, in Spider-Man Hostile Takeover, there is this ongoing thread between Peter and Harry that this imminent thing is happening in the end of the book, and that is that Harry is going to be leaving for Europe. And it's this kind of cloud over both their heads. They both are kind of scared because Harry's going to be leaving, and Harry and Peter are obviously very close, and MJ as well. They're all very close friends, all, you know, three of them and everything, this kind of triangle, this kind of trilogy of friends and everything. And so they are all very upset, well, not like very upset, but they're all, you know, kind of sad that Harry is going to end up leaving for Europe, and the reason that he gives is a little bit different than the actual game portrays. And so first off, I say we start with laying out the actual text in the book that Harry gives as to why he is going to Europe. So I say let's just take it away here. Growing up rich had come with its own burdens though. Peter might have been willing to bear burdens like that. Still, he thought he understood. He'd always been hungry to achieve great things, to make his own way in the world. Often it felt like thrashing around in a storm-tossed sea, struggling just to survive. Yeah, how did you motivate yourself when no matter what happened, you knew you were going to be okay? Again, problems Peter wouldn't mind sampling, but he knew Harry's struggles were real. His friend had scheduled an upcoming trip to Europe, and he hoped some time away would help him out. Harry, quote, wanted to travel, to see the world, to consider his options, he said. He'd be going to some of the European Oscorp facilities, but that was to placate his father. What Harry really wanted was some distance from his father, and to get his head together. And so that was the reasoning that Peter gave, and I guess that reasoning was directly from Harry. I guess that's what Harry said to Peter and everything, so it definitely doesn't make sense why Harry would tell Peter that, and it really does sound like the average story you hear about these college students that go off and do some study abroad. And like from a lot of people that I've known as well that have gone on those type of study abroad programs, they really just go out there just because they want to experience something new. They want to kind of step out of their comfort zone, see what they really desire out of life, see what they really want out of life, and just get a little bit of a different vibe than what they've been getting currently right now. And that definitely does make sense. Like when he made that the reason, to me that definitely did make sense. As you know, me being a college student, I have seen that same thing as well from other people, and I low-key did the same thing. I mean, I moved out of my parents' house a year ago, and that was to kind of just be able to go out and, you know, just experience life in a different scope as opposed to being under the scope of my parents, if that kind of makes sense. Not that I wasn't my own individual person, but I just wanted to see life in a new lens by myself. And so I feel like that was definitely where Harry was going with that, and that definitely does make sense. However, of course, if that was the case, that would be a pretty boring video, and obviously by the title of this video and everything, that is not what Harry was doing. He is not in Europe, and we're gonna go over this quick clip that I got from my walkthrough of Spiderman PS4. If you have not beaten the game, if you're not gonna get the game, if you're on Xbox or whatever, feel free to go check out that full walkthrough. It's up on the channel right now. I made a nice playlist as well, so if you want to go check it out, you can check out the full playthrough of Spiderman PS4 done by yours truly. But in this, we are going to episode 10, and this is where MJ is sneaking around in Norman Osborn's penthouse, where she is trying to get more information info on Devil's Breath, trying to see where the source of it is, where it's being produced and everything and stuff like that, where's that hidden lab as well. And so she's trying to go through that and everything, and she first finds a hidden door within the penthouse where there's obviously another room behind that door, and she figures out that the code to the actual secret, you know, room and everything is the day that Harry Osborn left, quote unquote left. And so she's snooping around trying to figure it out, and she's made aware that Harry Osborn has a journal where he wrote in his journal the last day that he was currently there. So the last day he left was obviously his last entry in his journal. So she finds a key to his room, tries to go in there and tries to find the journal to be able to get the date of the last journal entry so that she can properly unlock the secret room in the penthouse. And so she does it, and she finds a little excerpt here in the journal, and the room looks a little bit different here. So we're just gonna play the clip here, and then you will be able to get what I'm saying here.
What? This can't be for Harry, can it?
Harry's sick? Oh no, this gives so much context now to why he left now. Oh man.
Why didn't you tell us you were sick?
Oh boys, you know what this means. This means a video. We're gonna make a video about this, boys.
His last entry is marked July 18.
So 0718.
That must be the code to that room.
Not sure. That says there's no risk. Oh man. So if you are reading this, Dad, and if number said, oh, it turns out to be another Osborn campaign promise. Show this next part to Pete and MJ, just them. To Peter, Parker, and Mary Jane Watson. Guys, I'm sorry, really sorry. If you're reading this, man, this is tough. Even in an imagined hypothetical letter to you, it's hard to be honest. Here goes. I'm sick. Like really sick. Doctors think it's the same thing my mom had, neurodegeneration, rapid onset. I've known for a while, but I thought I could manage it. But I didn't tell you because I didn't tell you. I was worried how you'd react, and I couldn't stand to see you could go through what I did with my mom. Watching her suffer, knowing I couldn't help. Watching her die was worse than the dying. Things got really bad recently. All those times that I was, quote, wiped out from partying or so busy. Yeah, not partying, not busy, sick. This, quote, Europe trip, well, it's a cover. I'm going in for treatment. Experimental, long term. Dad's been working on it forever. Promises it'll work. He hates the nickname that Tex have for it. Devil's Breath. What? What? Says it makes something good seem scary. But maybe Devil's Breath is what I need. A little bit of a bad to do a lot of good. Okay, dads. Okay, dads. Here. Wait. Okay, that's phrase weird. Okay, dad's here. Oh, sorry. Okay, dad's here. Time to go. Dude. That is crazy. And so there we have it. That was my raw reaction to this news. We go into Harry Osborn's room and we see that there is a hospital bed, there's IV, there's medication on the table, and clearly here the, whole truth comes out that, Harry wasn't really going to Europe. That was a cover-up. He says it in his journal. Harry is sick and he has the same illness that caused the death of his mother, which is neurodegeneration rapid onset. And so that obviously caused his mother to die. And so he gives a reason that, with him knowing that his mother had this illness and watching her die without him being able to do anything about it, he didn't want that same thing to happen to Peter and MJ if they knew, right? And so, I don't agree with that. I would obviously tell my friends, but obviously I'm not Harry Osborn, and of course, it would be difficult as well to have that and everything. And so he says that rather than going to Europe, he just used that as a explanation to him being gone for a while because he is going under long-term experimental treatment under the supervision of his father, Norman Osborn. And so he also mentions that his father, Norman Osborn, swears on this experimental long-term, type of treatment and everything, and he calls it Devil's Breath. So Norman Osborn goes and hits the ground running on developing a cure for his son because his son has developed the same illness that his wife eventually died from in the past. And so the whole thing about this whole thing is that, like, Devil's Breath isn't anything malicious. It isn't anything that is, trying to cause anything crazy, whatever. the whole point of Devil's Breath existence, the whole point of why Norman Osborn was trying to create this Devil's Breath was to simply save his son from the same illness that took his wife and everything. So it is really kind of sad in that manner that on the way to trying to find a cure for his son with Devil's Breath, he accidentally made a bioweapon that, of course, you know, killed a lot of people and everything and made a lot of people sick. And so one of the people that was also made sick because of Devil's Breath was a test subject known as Martin Lee, of course, Mr. Negative, and that is why Mr. Negative has a bunch of animosity towards Norman Osborn for doing this to him based off of the Devil's Breath test subject type of things. And so definitely there's a lot of ties there that make a lot of sense and everything, and it's really upsetting that you know, this Devil's Breath was initially meant for trying to save Harry Osborn's life. But then we get to the end cutscene. Okay, now this end cutscene of the game is the main one that I'm talking about here. This is going to tie it all in a nice little bow here, and it's definitely going to reveal some new steps that we will be probably taking in the next Spider-Man game by Insomniac Games. So after we go to Harry's room, when you're playing as MJ, you finally get to go into the secret lab, and that's where you figure out that Martin Lee was a test subject, and that's what made him turn to Mr. Negative and everything. And it's also where we see a bunch of lab different type of things, where we see a bunch of spiders everywhere. And obviously it's clear here that I'm sure Norman Osborn is trying to figure out how to tap in to Spider-Man's regenerative state, and that makes him regen health, and is trying to hopefully reverse engineer it and make it accessible to Harry so that he can survive and everything. And so that's clearly why there's a bunch of spiders and everything. And what is not revealed in this scene in the game, but is revealed at the end cutscene, is that Harry Osborn not only never left Tierra, but he never even left New York City. He never even left his father's penthouse. MJ is actually only about 3 to 4 feet away from Harry at this point when she is in the secret room, and that is because Harry Osborn is in the lab that is in Norman Osborn's penthouse. And that is what you see in the second post-credit scene, in the final post-credit scene for the game. So I say I'm going to roll it right now, and then we'll talk a little bit later about some of the things that are in this post-credit scene. Oh, another one? Oh my god, yes.
We were so close.
Is that Harry?
But I'll keep trying. I will find a cure.
Oh my god.
I will.
Bro, he never...
I love you, son.
What? Bro, he didn't even leave the city! Oh no. Bruh. Boys. Wow. That was a lot. Oh man. So there we go, straight to the point. As you can see my reaction here live on the walkthrough, I was very surprised at this whole scene and everything. And, you know, what is the biggest takeaway for me, at least, is, you know, of course, Harry Osborn never left the city. He was here the whole time. He was in stasis type of thing. And, you know, Norman Osborn put him there so that he can give him some more time to find a cure for his rapid degeneration, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest takeaway here, the one that I was not expecting at all, and I feel like a lot of people were not, were the black tentacles type thing, these black spider webs around Harry's body within the green chamber and everything. And so when I was first playing it, I did not, you know, really pay these any mind. I just thought it was just some sort of way to keep him alive. I'm not sure what it was, whatever. But then after looking at the footage again and really looking at how it was reacting, how it was attaching to his body, and then how, especially when, you know, Norman Osborn touches the glass, and how the black goop of, you know, the webs and everything, and how they're moving, and how they latched on to Norman Osborn's hand through the glass and everything. They actually, you know, like didn't like latch on them, but like they like did touch the glass in the same place that Norman Osborn was putting his hand up to the glass as well. And so I know historically in the Spider-Man mythos, of course, you have Eddie Brock that has the symbiote and really does become Venom. But I think here with this, you know, universe that Insomniac is making, I think they are changing it up here, and they may potentially be making Harry Osborn Venom in the next upcoming games and the sequels of this Spider-Man game. And so again, I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like the way these are looking, at least in the video, the way they're looking in the cutscene, the way they look like black webbing and they're just latched on to Harry's body, to me it screams symbiotes, you know what I'm saying? And and you know, again, I could be wrong. I don't know. This is what I think. This is what I'm feeling that is looking like. It just screams Venom to me, guys. I just think this is where they're going with this, and we are gonna see Harry probably in the next game be Venom. You know what I'm saying? And that is really cool to think about. That's awesome. But most importantly, I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys think this is right? Do you guys feel like this theory? Do you think that, you know, they are really gonna pull off Harry Osborn as being Venom? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And make sure also, while you are down there, to check out the description where you can find Instagram and Twitter. Follow us on there. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, as well as comment below all your thoughts as well, and stay subscribed to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest greatest on PlayStation. Thank you for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.